All right, there's a lot of discussion about spin loft, so I wanted to do a video going over that and how to use that, not only to add backspin, but to decrease backspin. So spin loft is going to be the difference in the loft of the club at impact and the downward angle of that club, the attack angle. So the closer the spin loft, similar to a driver, I'm going to have less loft hitting up on it. I'll produce more ball speed but less spin. If I increase that, say if I had 45 degrees of loft at impact, I'm hitting down 10, that gives me a spin loft of 55. As I open that gap, I'll increase backspin and decrease ball speed. So I'm going to do a video where I'm going to hit some shots, and we're going to look at this and see how this either increases backspin and decreases it, and how we can use that on wedge shots. All right, so I've got two wedges here. I've got a 60 degree and a 56 degree. So with the 60 degree, I've got a 50-yard shot. I'm gonna try to hit a 50-yard shot, and I'm gonna open up that gap and see if I can create a higher spin loft to create more backspin. So I'm gonna introduce more loft, because I have a 60 degree, with a more downward attack angle, and increase the backspin. Okay, so that flew 55 yards. Angle of attack was 12.4 down on that. The loft of the golf club at impact was 47 degrees. So 47 degrees with downward 10 or 12 gave me a 26 degree launch angle, but a spin rate of 9,300. So over 9,000 RPMs of backspin on that 55-yard shot. That could be great. I have a front pin, firm greens, and I want to create some backspin. Well, let's say we can use that same theory to decrease backspin, so now I can get to a back pin. So let's say the greens are soft and the wind's in my face. I actually want to reduce backspin. So now I'm going to try to hit a similar length shot by decreasing the loft, and take a 56 and actually shallowing out the attack angle. You know, most people think I'm going to hit down on it to lower the launch angle to scoot it to a back pin. But that doesn't change the relationship between the loft. It only moves that up and down. So if I can decrease that difference between the loft and the attack angle by de-lofting and almost feel like this upward motion, I can reduce the backspin and help get a ball to release to a back pin. Okay, so on that shot, I took the 56 degree. So my attack angle went from 12.5 down to now it's 7 degrees down. So the downward angle of the club, around 5 degrees shallower. So I actually hit more up on that ball. But since I took the 56 degree, the loft of the club at impact was 42.5. So that difference between the loft of the club and the attack angle got closer. So that took my spin from 9,300 all the way down to 5,400. So it landed right at that same, or landed exactly 55 yards. But because my spin loft was much closer together, it almost cut the spin in half, launched a little bit higher, but spun way less. So let's say that ball hits the ground at 55 and rolls out. So not only can we use the spin loft to increase backspin, but if we know how to utilize that, we can use it to decrease backspin and get the ball to some back flags.